edge. And Commandment, though, right now, they're looking so good. We're going to toss it over to the Desto. Zeke, Adam, Savage, Vivid, tell me what you got, guys.
Monster just wants this game unfold, and Vivid, you're like, wait, high ground, look, and I'm like, what? I don't see it. What are you talking about? You're like, look, Bucky, Macwood, Kanata, they're up there. They're gonna do it. I'm like, Vivid, you know me now. Absolutely insane. Well,
amazing day 2 after a not so good day 1, and if they keep up what they just did, if they get another high, they could very well do a duplicate and just have like a quick rise up the leaderboard just from a superb day 2 performance.
Yeah, you know, Ozzy hit the nail on the head there. You know, we focus so much on the top kind of few teams that we kind of sometimes don't look at the back of the pack, 11th through 20th, for instance, and they have been there or thereabouts. Macwood's trio in 11th for ages. Suddenly, 15 eliminations and a VR gives you an extra 60 points on the board. That's going to really shoot them up into contention now. So I can't wait to see how this one unfolds. But you know, our two teams as well, Vivid. You know, our Miro's trio centered as well. I mean, they got a lot of points on the board, but the top is going to look mighty interesting. I can't wait to see what happens.
you know, we're going to get to those standings, but first, class, it's time to take a seat because we're going to the Vivid School of Learning. Teach, over to you.
Teach, yes, grab your notebooks because we're going to be looking at that victory out from Aspect of them. But I wanted to highlight how we always talk about, you know, the front of the zone. Look how they are in front of the zone, the moving zone. So the moving zone is essentially going that way, and they are at the front of it. Whilst they are at the front of it, there is a huge fight going on the high ground, and whilst this fight is going on, it's forcing these guys to stay towards the back of the zone there. And basically what that does is it creates this huge gap and this opportunity for Aspect, Kaz, and Whofishy to take advantage of the time that they are losing in terms of moving towards the front of the zone. And again, as you can see here, this fight basically forces all of these trios to still yet be further back than Whofishy, Kaz, and Aspect, and they are creating much more distance in between the two. And this trio in the back here, all these high ground trios must basically go towards Aspect in them. So basically what this ends up doing is, as long as you are aware enough and you are at the front of the zone, Whofishy was aware enough, as you can see here, they start to build up vertically. Now what this does is, Agers as a solo, usually in these fights that happen on high ground, there will never be a full trio left, right? So be it a solo or a duo, he is now in a bad position because he has 3 individuals that will be able to shoot out any builds that he tries to place to close that gap and continue his journey towards that front of the zone. Really easy high ground take for these guys because they were aware of what was going on in the game, not just what's in front of them, but what can also be behind them on the high ground. And then, you know, they get that high ground, and it's basically what ends up leading to that victory royale. But something that I wanted to point out is high ground isn't just about having high ground and just chilling there, right? Aspect here gets 2 white tags onto this player right here, and instead of shooting down this wood wall, he recognized that it's wood, and usually after somebody gets tagged by these shots, they'll go for some heals. But instead of shooting his AR and going for this elim himself, watch what he does here. He pings the builds, waits for his teammate to get there, and then they both double spray it, and they get a really quick, nice and easy elim and a refresh because he goes down there and grabs that refresh. And all of that combined basically leads them to this victory royale, and they have a really clean closeout onto threats here at the end. Well done.
I love that. I love learning so much about the game. I mean, you're now available for AAA Fortnite classes, you know, leaderboard maps, and obviously hairstyling with those sumptuous curls of yours. We have we have the leaderboard. We have first position, of course. Commandment goes in, a trio there, centered edge.